Pierre, tell us about your business.
Sure. So my podcast came from just having great conversations with, people that I meet in different walks of life, like you guys, my close family and friends. And one of my aunts kept saying, you talk to people and you uplift them, and you always do it from a place of like wanting people to heal. And I always say therapy and like, whoever you believe in, the creator, definitely help. So I just kept like journaling and, talking to my therapist and was like, okay, like I really want to make a difference, not just in my community, but just overall. Like I want people to feel like they're being heard and not, shamed or put down or their light being dimmed for whatever reason. Um, and it just started to come into fruition in the last few months. Like I got my LLC, I got my tax ID. So like now I'm just branching off into like getting my Spotify. I already have my Instagram. So my Instagram is Mr. Growing 101. And it's just self-explanatory. I'm Mr. I'm continuing to grow. And it's like, in college 101, like, you start somewhere and you have to like continue to like build and work on that. And that's just like self. And I feel like my podcast is a space that is a safe space. One, there's no judgment. You talk about whatever you feel. Whether you were raped, molested, segregated, abused mentally, physically, like it'll talk about a little bit of everything. Sex, like the things that, we feel like we can't talk about because we're going to be judged, or something that, is close and dear to you. So like we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. My first podcast segment will be coming in the next month. I'm sitting down with my father, and kind of like asking those tough questions, like, how do you feel to have a gay son? Like, do you feel that you failed as a father in some aspects of parenting? Like, those tough questions that, you feel like you want to ask your father or your parent, and you feel like, oh, that's disrespectful. But in this podcast, it's a safe space. Like, like we just want healing to come from it at the end of the day. We not might agree on everything, but at least you know where you stand at. And I say that, with being very transparent, like I'm a very transparent, very blunt person, sometimes a little bit too blunt for everyone. But I feel like that's a good place to be, because lying or like giving half truths, to me that hurts people more than, just being honest and coming from a good place. And I always say I come from a place of love and, like respect first and foremost, and then everything else falls in line. So my podcast just really will touch on a little bit of everything, but it'll come from everyone's perspective. And I feel like podcast today is always about bashing or, like segregating more than uplifting people. And it's a lot of negativity, as we know, in the world already. So I just want to bring a little bit of more light to everyone and not just like, putting people down. So that's kind of like my spiel on my podcast.
So, a question for you, as you know, the Living Room TV show has had issues with, like, trying to get people that get co-hosts that are serious, and
Mhm.
get people that's ready to sit down and do the work, and and really be about business. It's like today, people, I mean, they go to the next best thing. Oh, what's the thing? Offer me a little more money. It's just like it's all this flip floppy stuff. So, have you been having the same issues with your podcast?
Honestly, no, because it's my baby, and I feel like I am the one and only, like Oprah. I'm that
Okay.
Oprah. So like, it's just me, but all my guests can be recurring people. And I have a big, as they say, black book of intelligent people that can speak on different, walks of life, like Maisha in tech, Wes with his own juice business, Kareem with, photography, you working all over the world and meeting different types of people in your job. Like I have people that literally have all different types of jobs. I have friends that, work in porn. Like I have friends that, are drug dealers. Like, like they real about their shit. And I feel like, when you real about what you do and what you about, no one can judge you, because it's like I'm giving you this information so you can't use it against me, because I gave it willingly. So I don't really want a co-host. I just want people that like are just ready to just like lay it out on Front Street. Just be real, be authentic, and stop worrying about everybody else's opinion. We all have them, but like if you're so worried and stressed out about what somebody else is thinking, you're not gonna live in your truth. You're not gonna be happy in your life. You're just gonna be miserable. And I let that go when I was like 14. I was like, my mother set me in front of the mirror. And I think that's what I'm going to do with my podcast, is like just start it off like, look in the mirror, whoever I'm talking to. Love everything that everybody talks about you, or says that it's ugly or they don't find attractive. Love it. Because when you love yourself truly, no one can shit on you. And
I
that's how I
like that.
start my day. Like when I don't feel my best, or I don't feel like I want to get up, or depression might hit me, or like finances might be a little bother right now. Like I'm just like, shake it off. Like you're alive, you got 24 hours to make it happen, just like everybody else. So I don't do pity parties. I don't do sugarcoating. So I feel like with my podcast, it's different. It's unique. Like Beyonce said, it's unique. Like, bitch, I'm the only one. I'm talking real shit. We real over here. If you not real, then you can't sit down and have a conversation with me, because it's a conversation. Like one of my podcast segments, and I'm gonna share this, is probably gonna be the second or third. I'm sitting down with somebody that uh is a complete racist, like Confederate flag, does not care for anybody that is not pale skin. And I just really want to have a conversation. I want to know what goes on in that brain that you think that you better than everybody else in the world. Like that does not, I guess, look like you or have that same complexion. Because it's like it has to be a mental illness. It has to be something like chemically imbalanced for you to just think like that. And I'm not judging you. I just want to have a conversation. And like literally everyone that kind of like is behind the scenes helping me is like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you know what you're getting yourself into? And I'm like, yeah. Like, do you think that like when you hear the word nigga, or do you hear the word coon, or any type of slur that was made up, you wonder like, where did that come from? Like what made you think of that? To make, because it's like when you hear the definition, quote unquote, of a nigga, ignorant, stupid, machine, or like, dumb, whatever, it's like, but that's not you.
Well,
So
Pierre,
why you
I
let that phase you? Like, because I talk to my female friends, I'm like, he called you a hoe? Do you spread your pussy for everybody? No. So then, like, that word should not phase you. And I'm just saying, like, I'm just being real. Like, those type of topics come up on daily basis. Like, I have a friend that was molested. She had to face that person because, of course, in the community, oh, we're not calling the police, prayer. Okay. Okay, sis. Like those type of conversations. And she's like, like that was a journey to like even much feel comfortable in her own skin. Because most people that have been molested or raped, we know they turn to the streets. They
hey
turn to
Pierre,
drugs.
we're
They
gonna have to
become violent. Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
have to we have to cut it took a whole turn. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to cut you
I'll
though,
be
but
glad.
at least you have co-hosts. I'm not co-hosts, but people you can invite from this panel.
Okay.
So thank you for at least sharing your business and everything, because you definitely have people here, and it is pretty good that you're doing that. So we do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And last but not least is Corinne.